I just recorded for about 8 minutes and realized I hadn't even pressed the record button. Okay. Spoilers past here. I'm too forgetful to remember to put spoilers in the title, so spoilers past here. Anyway, I'm the Immortal Cave and samitrust.blogspot.ca. As usual, put a link to my blog in the description. Now, 3 fun facts that I noticed here. A, the doctor was whistling another brick in the wall. That was kind of cool. Next. Excuse me. Second, they still use the 11 Doctors theme during the Next Time On segments. I don't know why. The 12th Doctor has a perfectly good theme in the Me track that played when he was making his escape from that bit in the episode Deep Breath. I don't know. And 3, speaking of Deep Breath, remember that flashback Laura had where that kid was sassing her? Black kid kind of had the same hair as Aunt Selma from The Simpsons. Like that same, 7/10 of an afro thing. That's a girl. I lost that bet. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, spoilers past here. Yeah, that kid actually plays a part. And I was getting flashbacks to those annoying kids from Nightmare in Silver. And, well, the problems with this episode are going to start stacking up fairly quickly. I'm just going to say this right now. This is my least favorite episode this series so far. Not the series as a whole, like in Doctor Who. Though, come to think of it, it's down there. No, my least favorite episode is probably I want to say Family of Blood Part 1. And I realize I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that because, I've gone out and said that I don't find Love and Monsters to be that bad. Which I still stand by that. It's a very different kind of episode, though I will say, well, to be fair, what I'm about to complain about, it would make sense why people who don't like this episode wouldn't like that episode either, but to be fair, I think it was done in a different enough way. Regardless, I'm just yammering on now. And my point to that was the fact that when I say I don't like Family of Blood, a lot of people get kind of confused. I like Family of Blood, I just don't like everything, basically 90% of the first episode and 75%, no, about 50% of the second. Anyway, again, I'm yammering, so, and I've done 6 takes of this because I keep forgetting to either record or I keep flubbing a line or something. So I'm just going to keep going on because I don't have enough time for this. I have to wake up early in the morning. Yeah, I didn't like this episode very much. Why? The same reasons why I didn't like episodes like High School Reunion or Power 3 or The Lodger or what was the other episode? When I just mentioned Family of Blood. Because 90% of this episode is the Doctor being in a normal situation, trying to be normal and failing. And I don't find that very funny, entertaining, or interesting. I just find it to be the same old shtick that we've seen so many times. Now, while Family of Blood at least had, Martha being very independent, which I love, and that really badass, last 15-20 minutes in the second part where it was just really good drama. Love and Monsters, as I've said, I have a weak spot for it. I don't know. I think it was done in a neat way. I don't know. And High School Reunion had Sarah Jane Smith coming back. May Elizabeth Sladen rest in peace, of course. And The Lodger had Craig, which was awesome. Power 3 probably being the worst of these, though it had some neat stuff, and I thought the cubes were kind of interesting, and the Shockery were kind of interesting, but all in all, there's a reason I don't like these types of episodes. And it's mostly because of the fact that I watch science fiction for science fiction, not for somebody acting like an idiot in a normal situation. If I wanted to see that, I would watch an Adam Sandler movie. And God help me, I'm not that far gone yet. So, that's my main problem with this episode, really, is that. It's just the fact that it's a lot of normal stuff that's just done goofy. And I don't like that. Like, and Doctor Who has always had that kind of element of it looks normal, but it's not. You know, the police box, or I guess like the Weeping Angels or stuff like that. But the way it's done in this sense, I just find it boring. Like maybe that one's just me, um, but yeah, some of the other things I need to talk about here. The Doctor, he comes off a lot more aggressive, a lot more protective of Clara, and I think that worked okay. I think the 12th did okay. This was not his best performance, I will say. Capaldi, um, again, one of the reasons why I don't like this episode that much is just it's so much of it is drama. So much of it is just, oh, Danny and the Doctor don't like each other. Now they've actually met, and now he knows, and they don't like each other, and ugh. Here's the thing. I want to like Danny. I've said before, I think that Sam Manderson, I believe is his name, is doing a good job acting as him. My problem with it is that this reeks of Rory and Amy. And maybe it's because I'm a big fan of the 11th Doctor. Maybe it's because I'm a big fan of that era. That I can say right now that Clara and Danny are no Amy and Rory. Not even close. Clara has her own stuff going. I think she's a perfectly good companion. Danny. Here's the thing. I've said before that I do like him, and I do. I just don't like the fact that 90% of him now, like the first episode he was in, which was Dalek, or Into the Dalek, which was based on Dalek. Badumtish. That badumtish made no sense. Anyway, um, I liked him in that one because he seemed very, the way everything was shot and the way everything was, it made him seem very, how do I explain this? Very back and forth about everything, very scatterbrained. And it kind of reminded me of me, which is why I liked it. Now he's just Captain Serious Pants, and I don't like it. Like, he's just, he's a weird mirror of the Doctor. And whereas some people I've heard can claim the same of Rory and the 11th, which, kind of. To be fair, I'm not a huge fan of Vampires of Venice for the exact reason we saw in this episode, which was just a lot of bickering. I don't know. Danny Pink is no Rory. Danny Pink is no Mickey. And that's the problem. Because, Danny, if he goes on an adventure and I start to like him because of how he behaves with it, then fine. But, at least, Mickey in the first season annoyed the piss out of me. He just came off, and I can understand where he's coming from, but he just annoyed me. I realize I'm going off on like a million tangents, but go with me on this. The main reason why I don't like Danny is because of the fact that he is very serious. He's very deadpan now. Whereas before, he came off as kind of like just a hopeless goofball. Or a very serious-minded, hard-working goofball. And I like that. Now he's just coming off as serious, and I don't like it. So I hope they change that up. What else was kind of different in this? Yeah, that kid I mentioned earlier. I think her name is Courtney. Again, could have fooled me that was a female. But anyway. The Doctor actually showed her the TARDIS, and actually ejected the enemy of this episode, whose name escapes me, so I'm just going to call it Marauder Shields in a wheelchair. Basically ejected it into space, and the kid was there watching in the TARDIS into space. And what I will admit was one of the funnier moments in the episode where she ran off, threw up in the TARDIS, and he said something around the lines of, "And now I have to clean up a spill," or just something cute, relating to the fact that he was just a caretaker or a janitor or whatever you want to call it. So, at least it had that. But anyway, the general... I think for a moment I was calling this the anti-Listen. Because while Listen did a lot for the Doctor, it did a lot for Clara, and it did a lot for Danny, this made me kind of irritated with Danny. I don't really care that much about Clara, and the Doctor stayed about the same. But to be fair, he didn't really get as much time either. But it wasn't just like references or him whistling another brick in the wall. So, I don't know. General consensus, if you missed the episode and you're on the heels about watching it, general thing I just have to say, just the only thing you need to know is Danny now knows the Doctor exists. And that's about it. So, I just told you the only important thing that happened in this episode. Skip to kill the moon. Which, speaking of, next episode is Kill the Moon, and this looks good. Oh, this looks like a friggin'... And this is one thing that's actually starting to bug me about this season, is the fact that a lot of the episodes are retraces of older episodes. This one looks like a retrace of the Satan Pit two-parter. And goddamn, I wish it's going to be that good. I hope it is. Because that was one of the few moments of Season 2 where I was just like, fuck yeah, this is a good episode. But, I don't know. This episode was not that good. By the way, in case you're wondering why this episode was up a couple days late, I had work that day, and usually the next day I just download the episode on PSN. Thing is, my PS3 is fritzing real bad. It's not in very good shape anymore. So, until then, I might have to rely on just watching the Wednesday night repeat, which I just found out thanks to a friend of mine. And, yeah. So, just in case you were wondering. But, yeah, just Danny knows about the Doctor. That's the only thing you missed. That was of any significance. So, that's the best I can tell you. Yeah, next episode looks awesome. And, oh, that was one other thing I wanted to mention, actually. At the very end, one of the characters who was killed off. There was a moment where he's being interviewed by a guy who basically mentions, yeah, you're in the afterlife. Missy shows up, walks away. So, this Missy character has a business that involves the afterlife. Why do I get the feeling this is going to lead to something... See, here's the thing. Last time I was very intrigued by a mystery was in Season 6. Now, Season 6 is my favorite season because of the mystery, because of the episodes, because of the drama, and because of the tension that was made because of it. It was a very good tension. If within the first 15 minutes of your season, the Doctor dies, and I don't mean regenerates, I mean dies, you've got one hell of a tension, one hell of a plot, and some very good stuff coming. Now, this isn't causing as much tension. It's causing a lot of just mystery and like, what the heck's going on? If this goes tits up, and the twist isn't that good, I'm going to be very, very upset. Because I'm liking where this twist is going. And Season 6 just kind of had, well, the Doctor was inside of a robotic version of himself. Spoilers for Season 6, but the twist sucked anyway. It was either going to be that or a ganger, so we all kind of knew what was going to happen anyway, so... But anyway, yeah, like, I got a bad feeling, but I'm still hoping for it. Especially, again, with episodes like... the first two episodes were excellent. Robot of Sherwood was a very good, lighthearted episode. Listen was awesome. I still say that's my favorite episode of the entire franchise. And Time Heist was pretty good. This episode wasn't that good. The next episode looks awesome. So, we got hope. We got good faith going forward. Moffat, this twist better be good. That's all I'm saying. And I know for a fact that the last 2 episodes are a two-parter. Could we do more of that next season? Could we do more two-parters in season 9? I missed them. Please? Thank you. Anyway. Yeah. Bleh. See you in a couple days for Kill the Moon. Have a good night, guys.